Hello guys, welcome back to Sun Crypto. In today's content, we're going to talk about BTC and we're going to talk about the volume, the 5-day chart, 6-hour time frame and 12-hour time frame, right? Regarding those lower degree time frame, we're going to talk about the MACD and RSI, okay, as we did last time regarding the breakout, right? So let's get it started, right? Volume, first thing first, right? Declining volume, but high lows, it is actually bearish. But sometimes guys, like I told you previously, we can get a declining volume, right? High lows and further breakout. I can show you a very good example. Last year when I was calling for BTC like going up to 10k, volume was declining. Okay, everybody was like declining volume, high lows is bearish. Yes, it is bearish, but if market is basically making a bottom formation, sometimes it can make this type of a declining volume, lower, high lows, right? So big breakout to the upside. Last year you can go back and watch all more videos like back in March, April 2019. Similarly, I was saying, even though I'm bearish, I'm just going to be very cautious because we could be making the same type of structure. And in terms of like a Heikin-Ashi candles, we haven't seen any tails yet, similarly to what we've been making just about this area. Okay, haven't been seeing any tails, right? Everything been like very smooth like that. Okay, so it is something like we just gotta be we gotta keep in mind until we get like on a weekly basis, big tail, big wick, small body. It's not going to be easy to reverse the price. Can we drop lower? Absolutely. We're gonna talk about the bearish setup. It doesn't mean we're gonna go to the moon, but what I'm trying to explain to you guys is like we don't have any setup for further downtrend. All right, we don't have any setup for a sell-off, right? So it is something like just gotta keep in mind until you basically see like some red bearish candle on a weekly basis, like at least a on the Heikin-Ashi big tail, big wick, small body, or a bearish weekly candle on the Heikin-Ashi, you shouldn't be like looking for a downtrend as of now, right? And volume has picked up a lot, guys. It is like over 80% of the previous, previous buying pressure. It is quite a lot. So it is something like if you're bearish, you just gotta keep that in mind and either just be a bull until you see like a further rejection, right? So let's take a look at it on the regular candles again. So also one thing I just wanted to point out is like even if the bulls lose control all the way down to last week low, right, just about this area, it's not going to change anything about the bullishness as of now, right? So we can lose control, okay, not we, but the bulls can lose control all the way down to like a 70, 76, 77, right? And market's still going to be bullish. The most important was like we shouldn't be closing this candle just about like a on the 5-day chart. I'm going to show you on the 5-day chart, we shouldn't be closing the candle above like 88. And I explained to you guys on my previous video why we needed to close like below 88 to be bearish. As you can see, one of the reasons I'm showing you like we can drop all the way down to 76, right? You can see 76 was a is a very strong support, was also a very strong resistance, right? Was also a very strong resistance just about this level. Okay, you can see like 76 last year when we dropped like from like a 9k level, we basically retested like 74 to 76 level. Okay, so you can see like a very strong support, very strong resistance, and you can see like what the type of resistance we got just about 74 to 76 level. So even if we capitulate this week all the way down to 70, 76, markets can still be bullish. Like I wouldn't be like a too bearish, right? So let's keep that in mind, right? So as you can see, we basically capitulated down, did not capitulate, but dropped all the way down to 74. But the very next week, we basically pumped to the upside. So I would be very cautious. And if you go back in 2017, we got something similar. Okay, you can see that we pumped to like a 76, right? Drop all the way down like to 53. And then basically the very next week we basically pump back up above like a 76. So we could be anticipating something similar to it. but I wouldn't be highly basically bearish. I would just be monitoring the lower degree and see if 84 level gonna hold, at least for the short term, right? So now let's take a look at the 5-day chart, right? The 5-day chart, we basically been talking about the 5-day chart, and we talk about like the this divergence on the 5-day. We've been talking about it since like BC was at 10.5. We said the next divergence we're going to be paying attention to, it is going to be the 5-day, right? So we got the divergence, right? And I was looking for this candle to close below, just about like a below 87, but we could not. Okay, market did a great job, bulls did a great job to close above 88, and we talked about it like last week. We needed to close at least below like a 88 basically to turn bearish on this candle, but the candle managed to turn bullish. So we just gotta give it like a few more days, right? It has 4 more days basically to close, right? So it is too early to talk about it right now. So we can at least retest 50% of this candle within the next 5 days. Okay, if we push to the upside, 50% of this candle going to be roughly around like a 91.50. Let's say 91 to 92 level. Okay, if we're going to get any rejection above this just about this candle wick, most of the time price like to go back and retest like these these wicks. So it is something like you just got to keep in mind in case you bearish, and you could be looking for higher high level to basically short, right? It doesn't mean like we price gonna go all the way up there. Right now price can dip down to like a 84 and go back up there. So the way we're gonna go up to like a 91, 92 matters a lot. All right, so let's take a look at the 12-hour time frame now. So 12-hour time frame, that's what we've been basically monitoring previously, as you guys can remember, right? Last week when BTC was just about this area, so we did say basically market is making a high highs on RSI, and price is also making a high high. So we don't have any sort of divergence, and we said if BTC basically going to be retesting the top, if BTC going to be retesting basically the trend line, it is going to be very bullish. At the same time, we said you take a look at your MACD, we said if we basically double tap, right, that time MACD was just about this area. Okay, so we said if we double tap, it is going to be bullish because we can basically break this double tap structure and basically follow the trend of the price. Okay, so now price, MACD, and basically RSI, they all moving together, and that's very, very bullish. So one thing we need to do, okay, we need to get a divergence. The reason why people are looking for divergence is like your indicator is doing something and your price is doing something else, right? For instance, your indicator is telling you, okay, price is getting weaker, but price is basically looking stronger. You see what I'm saying? So, but if your indicator is looking very strong, like your MACD, right, looking very, very strong, and your price is also looking very strong, that's very, very bullish. Okay, you don't want all of them to be doing the same exact thing. You just have to basically follow the trend if that's the case. So what are we expecting, at least for the short term, right? For the bearish setup, because we don't have any bearish setup right now. So what are we looking for? We're looking for MACD to continue the downtrend, right? And price can dip quickly, right? And basically MACD gonna try to go back up, but price moves very fast, right? It's gonna be moving much faster than MACD. It can basically make a high highs, and MACD is not gonna be making a high high. So that way you're gonna get a divergence, right? So keep that in mind. The divergence could be this move. Let me change it to red. So you could be looking for this divergence within the next few days, few weeks or so on your MACD. RSI, most likely we're gonna get a divergence right now. I think like it was overextended on the 12-hour time frame. As you can see, it was like just about 86, 89. I think the high was 89, roughly 86, right? 86, right? And last time we've been at 86 was almost like the 14k top. Okay, 14k top was like 89 roughly. So that's quite interesting, right? As you can see, if I draw a line, you can see we had a 3 peak back in 2019, right? And all of them was like roughly around like 86 to 89. 86 to 89. We got one pick just about the first breakout. The second breakout also, this correction we picked, and the third breakout was like up to 14k. But if you take a look at it, we just got a first breakout right now, and it is just about the same level. Okay, just about the same level, almost at 89. I think we picked at 86 on the RSI on the 12 hour. So it is quite interesting, and it worth like paying attention to, at least for the short term, to your pay attention to your basically 12-hour time frame, picking just about 86. So we're gonna be looking for another pick, at least for the short term, in order to basically start to get some divergences, right, on the RSI and MACD. So let's take a look at the 12-hour time frame, 6-hour actually. So 6-hour time frame, as I said it, most of the time when you get a bearish crossover, you're gonna get a 400 to 600 points. We did get a bearish crossover last week when BC was at 92. Let's see. So let's zoom it in. So as you can see, we got a bearish crossover just about 89, right? Sometimes you get the bearish crossover and price gonna give you also another basically 300 400 points, right? As you can see, just about 89 to 92, right? We got the crossover just about like 88, and price pumped to like 91 92, and then give us like a dump all the way down to like 8500 range. So we got a dump from like, we got 700 points dump after the crossover, but it was kind of very slow regarding the dump, because we pumped like 400 points before the drop, right? So let's keep that in mind. 6-hour time frame also, guys, we're gonna need another bullish crossover in order to make another basically a strong move to the upside, right? But the lower degree, guys, even though the higher degree is actually bullish, the lower degree is basically printing some basically some possible downtrend all the way down to 84.50, right? Let's take a look at it. So that's the correction we got. We got this impulse move, right? And then we got this pullback. Now we got another impulse and this pullback. So I would be looking for this move to the downside, down to like 84 to 83 range. Okay, 84 to 83, down up to like 8500, going to be very accumulative in case we drop down to that level. I would be looking for a very strong support from the bulls, at least for the short term, to be able to basically support the price. The move we're making right now, it is not that healthy, right? As you can see, we push into the upside with lower volume on the 6-hour time frame. We're making this move. I pointed out in my group, like when the 4-hour time frame was making this move and price was doing this, and I was like, this one we're gonna be dropping. Okay, it is just a matter of when, but we could be looking for lower numbers, right? So as soon as we broke this triangle, that's when we broke this trend line. That's when we took the short all the way down to like 85, right? So from just about like 89, when we broke 89.50, we took the short and then basically took it like down to like 8500. So you can see we're pumping back up with the same structure. Okay, price is making high lows, volume is basically struggling to make a high highs, right? So what do you expect next? We're most likely going to break this level down to this and be looking to make a new low and basically retest this area for a possible reversal pattern, right? So look for a strong support, 83 to 85 level. It doesn't mean we cannot break it, but in terms of structure wise, that's what I'm looking for, a possible support in case we're going to be pushing higher. But if we break it, guys, we could be definitely I'm going to update it if we break like 83 to 85 level. All right, so I know most people are going to be looking for the anti-structure, but I think it is too early to look for the anti-structure. You can look for the anti-structure if you take a look at the daily. If you take a look at the daily, you could be looking for 382 pullback, going to be just about 6,500. All right, so you could be, but it is too, like I said, it is too early to talk about like 6,500 when we already know the weekly basis. It is basically very bullish, and we got a very strong support at 76. So in order for me to basically start looking for 60, 65, 60, 6,800 range, we're gonna have to basically break 76 first in order to basically start looking for like a 382 or 0.618. Yes, 0.618 going to be just about like 5K, but like I said, right, it is too early to basically talk about those type of structure. Daily volume, quite interesting. Didn't talk about the daily structure, but daily volume, selling pressure is quite good, right? So even though we're bullish on the weekly, daily, has printed a bearish pattern. So that's what I'm saying. If we can keep if bulls can basically keep this level of 83 to 8,500 range very strong, they got a very good chance basically to make a new high before any rejection. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. We printed a bearish setup on the daily, but let's see if we're going to be able to if bulls going to be able to basically keep this 83 to 85 level very strong. Otherwise, we're gonna have to basically take it lower down to 76 level and see what we could be getting after that, right? All right, guys, that's all I wanted to cover today. So just to recap it, the most important aspect of the chart right now is basically a 12-hour time frame. You gotta basically pay attention to your possible divergence on your MACD, right? And pay clear attention to your volume. This week volume could be very low, right? But it might not mean much. If we get a low volume, selling pressure, it's not going to be that bearish. So let's just keep that in mind. If we get like volume 50% of the previous weekly volume and some selling pressure volume, it's not going to mean much. It most likely just mean like a sideways correction, right? So the WXY correction on the macro scale, we talked about it multiple times. So even though we're looking for BC to make a new high within this range, it doesn't mean we're going to the moon. I keep saying it. It is something like you just have to keep in mind. The macro scale is still calling for higher, lower, I mean not higher, but lower numbers, right? The macro scale, we basically still looking for this move to the downside. Could be anywhere around like at or below 3K, and the lower degree, we basically anticipated this move W X Y X. Okay, this X, I said it last week before the pump, right? So that's what we're looking for, this X to the upside, and then we're going to be looking for this Z, right? Change the color to yellow. Okay, so that's what we're looking for, at least for the short term. We're looking for this X, and as soon as we complete this X, we're going to be looking for another capitulation move all the way down to at or below 3K level. So let's keep that in mind. I know the halving, all of that good stuff, going to be very excited and all that good stuff, right? But similarly, when BC was at 10.5 twice, I said it, do not be too bullish and do not long BC above 10.5, because we're going to be capitulating all the way down to 42 to 42 to 5,500 range, and that's what we did exactly. So let's keep that in mind. Short term bullish, but macro scale still extremely bearish, and big volume. It's gonna basically affect the how we're gonna be dropping within the next few weeks also, because all this big volume gonna basically going to be affecting the volatility rate on the downside, right? All right, guys, thanks a lot for watching. If you're new to the content, don't forget to hit the likes. Make sure to join our public Telegram group. Make sure to subscribe, and if you want to join our premium group for live trading, day trading, price target, price analysis, make sure to send me a private message, and I'm going to give you all the information you need, right? All right, guys, thanks a lot for watching.